Oh, good. We got somebody here. Good. Okay, Eric the Bearded Tool Guy. This is a Skill Power Core 20 with the halo light, 5 amp power cord battery, and the model is 067. No, ID 0. Yeah, ID 67 dash. I don't know. It's hard to read this, but this only has like 1,800 inch-pounds. Well, let's run this fastener in it. There's one. Two. Three. Good, we got 5. Okay. Now let's move on to the Metabo HPT. This has got a, like, I think it says, yeah, this is a 5 amp multi-volt battery. This has like, I think it has like 1,800 plus inch-pounds. I know it's got a little more power than the Skill. Metabo, Japanese. Used to be called Hitachi. Triple hammer bolt, this is called too. Tell us a little bit faster than the Skill. Okay. And then it does not have a quick collet. So you got to put it in. But I love the halo lights. Look at those halo lights. Now, the Hercules. We all know this comes from Harbor Freight. 2,200 inch-pounds. This has got the 4 amp 21/700 cell. Now the Skill, I think, has a quick collet. Yeah, and it's got the halo light. Okay. Now, let's move on to Harbor Freight Hercules. So this is a little bit faster, but 2,200 inch-pounds. Trying to get all these batteries close to one another. First battery was a 5 amp, the next one was a 5, and this is a 4. But this is 21/700 cells, the other two are 18/650. Okay, now let's move on to the one you got the new battery for. This is the Ryobi PBLIDO2. This is 2,200 inch-pounds. With the new 4 amp Edge battery, tablet cell technology. You can definitely tell the power by listening to it. Okay, now take these down. This is probably the least expensive kit from the Harbor Freight, probably, with a battery and a charger. I'm guessing probably a little more than $100. Ryobi's, I think I've seen these impacts for about a little more than 100. And this is a quick collet. Okay. Now let's grab the next two in line. Now this is a rigid. This is the rigid R862312 with a 3 amp octane battery they don't make anymore. They stopped making this battery, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago. But they are going to come out with a brand new tabless battery, a 4 amp. Okay. And this, of course, is the Cobalt XTR. This is 2,400 inch-pounds too. And so is the rigid. This is the 4 mode, not the old 3 mode. Definitely hear it going. But they're supposed to make that new battery for rigid. It's going to be called, I think it's going to be called a 24 volt max output EXP with tabless cells. So it'll be a little bit bigger than this 3 amp. Probably not, in fact, maybe the same size. I heard that's coming out next month. Okay, now let's move on to the Cobalt. And this you can get at Lowe's with a 4 amp ultimate output. It's where the rigid's faster. Okay, well, let's save for the rest for the others, because we're not even close to being done yet. Okay. Everybody knows the others. Flex quick eject. This is how you put it in. And this is a 3.5 stacked lithium. Milwaukee Gen 4. This is the 2953-20 with a 6 amp forge battery. Okay. Let's run the Milwaukee first. And this only has 2,000 inch-pounds, but one of the top 3 strongest impact drivers in the world. Because Milwaukee's got this figured out. Okay, now let's go with the Flex quick eject. Now, let's go to the DeWalt XR DCF 860 with a 5 amp power stack fully charged. Okay, now I'm going to reverse all of this. Now, let's go with the other fasteners. These are 4-inch timber locks. Okay. This one's the DeWalt 860. $2,500 inch-pounds with a 5-amp power stack. Okay, let's go with the Flex Quick Eject with a 3.5 stack lithium. Let's put it into a knot. Put the Milwaukee into a knot too. Okay, we had a conch out there. Okay. Now that we did those, let's take those out. Okay. Now, make sure we're still online. Good. Okay. Let's go with the next three. These are the next three most powerful. They no longer make this battery, this 3-amp octane for the rigid. And let's go with the Ryobi with the brand new Edge battery. And let's go with the Cobalt XTR 2,400 inch-pounds, along with the Ultimate Output 4-amp battery. Okay, let's start with 2,200 inch-pounds with the Ryobi with the new Edge battery. You can tell the power difference. Yep, you can definitely tell the power difference. Okay, let's move on to the Cobalt XTR with 2,400 inch-pounds. You can get these at Lowe's. Okay, let's go with the rigid RA62312 with a 3-amp octane battery, fully charged. I swear this has got more power than the Cobalt. You can get this in the kit with the 1,250 inch-pound hammer drill, I think, for $350. Okay. Now, let's take these down. Let's bring out the Harbor Freight Hercules. And let's bring out the Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt. Okay. Skill Power Core 20. 5 amp power core battery. 4-inch timber locks. You can tell how much slower they are. This is only 1,800 inch-pounds. There's a big difference. Now let's go with the Harbor Freight Hercules. This has a 4 amp extreme performance. This is 2,200 inch-pounds. Okay, now let's go with Metabo HPT. This is the 5 amp battery. This is like 1,900 inch-pounds. Got a triple hammer in it, but they call it the bolt. Okay. Now we did all those. Okay, what's next? Okay, what are we doing next? Let's move on to these power legs. Okay. Skill Power Core 20. This has like 1,800 inch-pounds. These are 5-inch power legs. Gonna do 2 runs apiece. Okay. Let's move on to Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt. This is a multi-volt battery. Even though this is only 18-volt tool, this battery will work on a 36-volt tool. If you can't run an 18-volt battery on their 36-volt tools, they won't work. Okay. Let's run the Harbor Freight Hercules. This is 2,200 inch-pounds with a 4 amp extreme output battery. Okay. Now let's get to the Ryobi PBL IDO2 with the new 4 amp Edge battery with the tabless technology. Sounds like this tool's getting power with that battery. Okay. Okay, let's go with the next two. They're both competitors. You know, the next two are competitors. Cobalt XTR, this is sold at Lowe's. This is the middle brother. The big brother is the Flex. This is the middle brother, and the little brother is the Skill. Well, at Home Depot, the Rigid is the middle brother. The baby brother is, you know, the Ryobi, and the big brother is, you know, the Milwaukee. Let's run the Cobalt first. Jumping up in power, we are. Now let's go to the Rigid. R862312. 3 amp octane battery, 21 7/8 cells. Okay. Now we got both of these done. We got the Cobalt done and the Rigid done. Let me do one more a piece. Okay. Now, let's take these off. All these tools can be bought today. Okay, now we're on to the last three most powerful ones. The Milwaukee Gen 4, the Flex Quick Eject, and of course the new DeWalt XR DCF 860. Okay, let's run the Milwaukee first. It's 2,000 inch-pounds, but it's still a top dog. Look how fast that is. Let's run another one. Okay, let's go to the Flex Quick Eject with a 3.5 stack lithium. Hear that hitting away, 2,500 inch-pounds. But that ain't nothing compared to the new DeWalt XR DCF 860. 5 amp power stack. Okay. Sometimes these collets act. Sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes you got to run it. Love the light on the DeWalt. Okay, let's start with these three, the most powerful ones next. Okay, now show some light on the subject. Okay, now we only got one apiece to do here. Okay, let's run the DeWalt XR DCF 860 5-amp power stack, and it's still fully charged. Let's run these 6-inch, these look like timber locks. Okay. Now let's run it on the Flex Quick Eject. 3.5 stacked lithium, still fully charged. Now, let's run it on the Milwaukee Gen 4 with a Forge battery, still fully charged. Okay. I only got one of those tips. Okay, let's grab the next 3 most powerful. These are down the grade. 2200 inch pounds, 2400 inch pounds, and 2400 inch pounds. Let's run it the new Ryobi with the Edge battery. Okay. Not bad. I swear it's got more power now with that battery. I'm sure it's helping it to some extent. Now we're going to go on to the rigid. The R8 62312 with the 3-amp octane battery. Now we're going to the Cobalt XTR with the ultimate output. Okay. That puts out 2400 inch pounds. 2400, 2400, and 2200. Now let's run the last 3. The Skill is the weakest at 1800 inch pounds. The Metabo is the next one. And then the Hercules from Harbor Freight is the most powerful one out of this group. It's also the cheapest one. So I divide all these impacts into 3 different sets. Let's run the Skill. You'll see how slow this Skill is. Even though it's got a nice little halo light, it's slow. Now let's go with the Metabo, formerly known as Hitachi, with no quick insert. See what time we got here. Okay, we're still doing good. Okay, now let's start with the 3 weakest ones again. Now let's see what we're going to run. Okay, 3 weakest ones. Let's run the Skill Power Core 20. And it's still fully charged. And we will run these little legs. Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt with no quick insert. Getting more powerful and more powerful. Hercules from Harbor Freight. 4 amp extreme output. Okay. Now, we will go on to the next 3. Okay? The Cobalt, the Ryobi, and the Rigid. Let's run the Rigid first with a quick insert. Let's run the Cobalt. I actually think it might be slower than even the new Ryobi. Now let's go to Ryobi with the new Edge battery. The latest in technology from Ryobi. Half the price of Milwaukee and DeWalt. Yeah, I should say that's fast. Let's run one more apiece for each one of these. Let's go back to the Rigid. It's the middle brother of Ryobi. Let's go against Cobalt now, because Cobalt is the middle brother against Ryobi from Lowe's. Okay. Now, let's take one out. We need one more. Okay. Ran too many in on the last test. Okay. To show the speed of these last 3. You know, these last 3, you know, they're the strongest one out of the bunch. Let's run the Milwaukee Gen 4, 6 amp forged. You know, I consider the Milwaukee a high torque impact driver, the DeWalt, and the Flex. Okay. Now, let's start with the 3 most powerful ones again. Let's see what else we're going to run. Okay, looks like I went through that stock. Okay. Let's run some big legs. Okay. Let's run some legs of size. I think that's big enough. Okay, DeWalt XR DCF 860 5 amp power stack. If I am right, this is a 1/2 inch by 5 inch spacks. Okay, there went the DeWalt first. Okay. And the Flex quick eject. Okay, let's go with the Gen 4 Milwaukee 8 amp, 6 amp forge. I wish I had the 8 amp forge. That'll be in the future. How hard that's hitting. Let's go with the Flex Quick Eject now. Okay. Now, let's go with the next two in a row. Let's run the Ryobi with the new Edge battery against the Cobalt. These are both 4 amp hour batteries. This is the middle brother of Lowe's, and this is the baby brother of Home Depot. Okay? Okay, let's go with the Ryobi with the new Edge battery down to 3 cells. It's down to 3 cells. Okay. Now, let's not even bother with. Well, let's go to. We only got so many of these legs left. I'll have to take one out. Okay. Okay. Rigid R862312, 3 amp octane battery down to 3 bars. Harbor Freight Hercules with 8 amp extreme performance is 21/700 cells too. Okay, I'm going to use one powerful one to remove in order to get to the other two, so we don't wear these batteries out on these 2 lesser impacts. Let's remove one of these with the rigid. Sometimes that collet and that rigid acts up. Okay. Now, Skill Power Core 20. Oh, that crap. Okay. Let's move that over here. Okay. Now we got to remove another one. Let's remove it with the rigid again. Okay. Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt. Oh, that costs too. Let's put it right here. Okay. Now we did those. Okay. Now, what is there to do now? Let me see here. Okay. Okay. Okay, make sure we're still online. Okay, let's run the rigid R862312 with a 3 amp octane battery. You see how small these are. These are little thick legs. Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt. Skill Power Core 20. This is the weakest one, only 1,800 inch-pounds. Okay. How many of these do we got left? We only got 3. Well, actually, we got 4. Let's run the Harbor Freight Hercules. Okay. Cobalt XTR, 2,400 inch-pounds. Okay. Down to the last 4 units. Milwaukee Gen 4, 6 amp forged. This is the Ryobi PBL. Yeah, PBL IDO2 with the new 4 amp Edge battery. That cracked. What do you expect? You're supposed to be able to... Let's just put this in a previous hole. You run that big of a lag, you got to run her in a hole. Unless you run it into the OSB. Now I got to remove one. Let's move one here. Okay. The DeWalt XR DCF 860 5 amp power stack. See how fast that was? Finally, Flex quick eject. Let's remove one here. Okay. Okay. Now. Now what I want to try now, let's see, I already ran through all my fasteners. I just put, well, let's see here. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. This is the baby brother at Home Depot. The big brother, you know, the DeWalt. And here's the Flex. And let's stick with the Milwaukee. Let's remove all these now. Okay, let me come up with a container for all this. Between these 4 units only. Flex quick eject. Ryobi with the Edge battery. Okay, I think we got all those. Let's just keep running them 4 units we're really trying to compare. We might switch in another unit or 2 once in a while. Okay, now. Every now and then, this quick collet acts up on this Ryobi. Oh, there was one more. Okay. Try it with the Flex. Okay. Still removing everything with the Ryobi. Okay. Now let's see what's next. Let's remove those bits in my pocket. Let's remove all the okay. Let's remove all these well, they're not timber locks. They're spats, power legs. No, that ain't it. Let's move the other ones. Okay, let's switch over to the Milwaukee Gen 4. Okay, looks like we got all those. Okay. Now, we got all those. Let us okay. Okay. Now let's try to remove a bunch of these with the Gen 4 Milwaukee with the 6-amp forged. I'll see that in there. Okay, let's go with the Flex Quick Eject. Okay, one more with the 860. Now let's go with the Ryobi with the new Edge battery. Okay, let's try to remove all these with the Ryobi. That's stripped. Still might be able to get this. Nope. That was in a knot. Okay. Now I can make sure I got all those out that'll come out. Yes, I do. Okay. Now, we're going to remove all these. Okay. Now, let me try a weak impact with it to show you guys the difference. Or at least I consider it weak. Let's just throw the Metabo in. Let's take out one of the high torques. Just the power difference of these units. Let's take out the Flex. The Flex has been around a couple of years. The Gen 4 is newer. The Ryobi's, actually the DeWalt's the newest, the XR 860. The Ryobi is about 3 years old. This is the newest. So let us do this. This does not have a quick collet. Okay. Now, I like the tri-lights on the Metabo triple hammer bolt. This is only like 1,800 some odd inch-pounds. Love the light on it. You know, you can't beat the light on this. Japanese know how to design lights. This needs a little more power. Now, the power difference here. Let's jump up to the Ryobi. 2,200 inch-pounds. Okay. Now let's really jump up. Let's jump up to the 860, DeWalt. Now we're really jumping up. I love the light on this. 9 lights. Now let's go to the Milwaukee. Can't wait to get the new 12 and 8 amp forges. Okay. Now, Let me turn another light on here. Okay, now okay, we're in luck. We got 4 bits and 4 impacts. Still don't like the Metabo, not a quick insert. That's what bugs me. Milwaukee quick insert. Cobalt quick insert. And this is the American one, not the Asian one. Okay, now let's come up with a container for all these. We got quite a bit here. Okay, let's go with the Ryobi with the Edge battery. They need to put the lights on the nose. Let's put this Edge battery through its paces. Okay, now let's go with the weakest one here, the Metabo triple hammer bolt. Got the best lights, without a doubt. It's even better than the DeWalt, I think. Yeah, they're awful close. And this is an older unit. This is 2 or 3 years old. Okay. Now let's go with the Milwaukee Gen 4 with the Forge battery. Look at the power difference. Now let's go to the DeWalt XR DCF 860 with the 5 amp power stack. Look at that power difference. Oh, that's stripped. This DeWalt has been known to strip screws. See if I can still get this out in a lower speed. Speed 1. Always does it. It's slow. Make sure we turn it back to speed 3. Okay. Let's make sure we got everything. Now, let's go with the big ones. Okay. Now, okay. You get these bits, Menards, Instead of running an adapter and a socket, this is all one piece unit, which is nice. I just need to buy about 4 more of them because I snapped them, but they're covered by a full warranty. So, but they only go up to 5/8. This is as big as these, and they're magnetic too. This is as big as they get. Okay, the Ryobi, their highest torque impact driver, the new Edge battery down to 3 bars. Let's remove some of these. Okay, now here comes the power difference. Here's the Metabo triple hammer bolt. Now, let's use the Milwaukee Gen 4 with the forged battery. See how much power that has. Milwaukee ever jumps up the power on this, everybody's in trouble. This only has 2,000 inch-pounds. The Ryobi has 2,200. The Metabo has only like 1,800. And the DeWalt has 2,500. Let's try this out and see which one will do it first. This will be a heck of a test, if I can do it. Let me see here. Put these both in reverse. I can't, they're too close. I don't know, they're both about even. 2,500 inch-pounds, but the Milwaukee I think has a little more torque, a little more grunt. You know? So, these are all nice tools, but you can definitely tell the difference between a weak Metabo, which Metabo doesn't make anything anywhere near 23 or 24 or 2,500. This is 2,500 inch-pounds, 2,000 inch-pounds, 2,200 inch-pounds. So, it's a big difference in impact drivers. This is a high torque impact driver. This is a high torque. And the Flex is a high torque. And I consider these to be medium torques. Even though I think the battery does help out, the Edge battery does help out the Ryobi, but you can't get too much more power out of this unit. They need to upgrade this to at least equal to the 2,400 inch-pounds of the Cobalt. Or at least try to equal its middle brother, the Rigid, which is 2,400 inch-pounds. You know? And of course, the weakest impact driver here has got to be the Skill. Well, this is only 1,800 inch-pounds. So, okay, guys. I'll be online in a couple more days.